Hello and welcome to Luzhou for the second session on day one of competition at the Li-Ning BWF World Superseries Finals, the culmination of the awesome BWF World Superseries. 12 tournaments throughout the year, and all those 12 have been completed, so it is just the Super Series to come. And of course, from those 12 tournaments, the top 8 in all 5 disciplines have qualified for these finals here in Luzhou. Day one of competition, as I say, we've had an afternoon session. We're about to start the evening session. 5 matches for you this evening, and we're going to be starting with mixed doubles. Then we'll have women's singles, women's doubles, and men's doubles will be our 5th and final match tonight. So the mixed doubles will be starting with the Indonesian pair of Ahmad and Natsir up against the British combination of Blair and White. Then women's singles, and the former world #1, Wang Sin, will be up against Sato in the battle of the left-handers. Then the world #1 and the 3-time defending champion Lee Chong Wei of Malaysia up against another left-hander, Sho Sasaki. Then women's doubles, and Tiang Ching and Zhao Yunlei, the Asian Games gold medalists, up against the Danish combination of Peterson and Rute Yul. And then the men's doubles will be the last match. The 2009 winners, Zheng and Lee, up against the 2008 winners, Ku and Tan from Malaysia. So a great lineup for you this evening on day one of competition. Now, just to remind you, of course, that with these top 8 pairs or players from each discipline divided into 2 groups of 4, every pair or player in each group plays the other 3 within the group, and then the top 2 after the round robin competition will progress through to the semi-final stage, with the top of Group A playing the runner-up of Group B. And the winner of Group B, of course, playing the runner-up of Group A. So that's how it all works here at the Super Series Finals, and I'm Jill Clark, sitting alongside former England head coach Ian Wright. And Ian, 2 players on court that you know exceptionally well.
Yes, I do. Robert and Gabby, work with both of them quite a lot. I was still in post with England and Great Britain. Done well to qualify, but in the pool that they've drawn, they're going to be really up against it to go any further in this competition.
Yes, it's all tough. We were talking earlier today, Ian and I, about there are no easy matches here at Super Series Finals. Absolutely top of world badminton. So for the Indonesians, Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir, well, they've qualified for these Super Series Finals at number 5 on the Super Series list, having played 10 tournaments. For the British combination, they've qualified at 7, having played 11 of the 12. The only tournament that they missed was the India Super Series event, and of course India for the first time coming into the Super Series. Old Super Series starting back in 2007, but the first year no Super Series finals. So whilst we're just concluding the 5th year of Super Series, this is only the 4th Super Series finals. There's Gabby White, 21 years of age, and I can tell you that just a little hiccup there with our graphics, because they are ranked 22 in the world, only formed their partnership last year, only 2 tournaments together in 2010, but this their first full year on tour. And looking at their Super Series, well, 1 semi-final, that was the Malaysian Super Series event, the first of 2011, and they came through to the semi-final having started in the qualifying. So absolutely remarkable start to this year's Super Series. A quarter-final, 4 last 16s, and actually 5 last 32s as well. So to Tontowi Ahmad, 24 years of age, from southwest of Central Java. Now, number 4 on the world rankings, number 5 on the Super Series rankings, have been as high as 2, but because, my goodness, they had a wonderful period in the middle of this year when they had a run of 4 consecutive finals, winning 3 of them. Won the India Super Series event, and then the Malaysian Grand Prix Gold, then the Singapore Super Series, and then reached the final of Indonesia. It really was an incredible run of good form by the Indonesians. Well, for Liliyana Natsir, a 26-year-old from Manado in north of North Sulawesi. Of course, she most famous probably for her partnership with Nova Widianto, and with Nova Widianto they were the number 1 seeds at the Super Series finals back in 2008, where they lost in the final of the Super Series finals to Thomas Leybourne and Camilla Urrutia. So for the Indonesians, from their 10 Super Series tournaments, 3 finals, 2 titles. So the first meeting between these 2 pairs, Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir, up against the British combination of Robert Blair from Scotland and Gabrielle White from England. And of course the first thing I've got to ask you, Ian, is probably the 3rd best known British pair, because of course English combination of Nathan Robertson and Jenny Warwick, and then of course the British combination that reached the final of the World Championships earlier this year, Chris Adcock and Imogen Bankia. But it's consistency throughout the 12 Super Series that helps you qualify for these Super Series finals, and I think that Robert Blair and Gabby White have been pretty consistent.
Yes, they've had some good results this year, and they've been slowly working their way up the world rankings, and the points here will obviously help them move a little higher. But they're a good pair, I would say. At the moment there's very little to choose between the 3 British pairs. Just some of them have been established a bit longer, and obviously Chris Adcock and Imogen Bankia getting that final at the Worlds move them swiftly up the rankings, but not that much to choose between the 3 of them.
No. And that's a good, healthy sign. We were talking about it earlier today, weren't we, about success breeds success, and the Chinese players and how they practice against each other, and they've got world-class opposition to practice with on a daily basis. It's nicely done. Of course, it was that British combination of Adcock and Bankia that beat this Indonesian pair in the semi-final of the World Championships in Wembley, when, of course, the Indonesians were the number 2 seeds. Oh, and of course, most people, like myself, will probably for a long while yet always think of Liliyana Natsir playing with Nova Widianto, twice world champions, Olympic silver medalists. Now, obviously, with this younger partner, Tontowi Ahmad, how does he compare in style and potential to Nova Widianto?
That's a good question. I think the problem with Nova was they felt maybe he was going to struggle to get all the way through to the 2012 Olympics, so they switched things around last year. Tontowi, not a very experienced mixed player. Brings good physicality to the game, got good court coverage, but sometimes his shot selection's a little bit wild, shall we say. Gets a little bit carried away.
Naive.
Yeah, naive, that's a good word. And he very often doesn't get Natsir into the game as much as he should be doing, really, because she should be the strength of this partnership.
Yeah.
But very often he puts pace on when he should be taking pace off, and doesn't get her into the game, into the areas where she's so strong.
6-4.
Robert Blair himself has been in a World Championship final. That was when you were the boss, and he was playing for England.
Yep. Yep.
Madrid in 2006, men's doubles final with Anthony Clark.
Well, I have to say, he had some big results for England. Won what was certainly one of the most decisive points in England's medal-winning performance in Sudirman Cup as well, when he beat Kuantan from Malaysia. England beat Malaysia 3-2 in that match, and at the time Kuantan were #1 in the world.
9-4.
Oh, that's clever. Just putting enough pace on the shuttle. Liliyana Natsir to get it past Gabby White. Shuttle really dying in front of Robert Blair.
Yeah, I think Rob was expecting Gabby to be looking for that.
Well, there's the power play that you were talking about, and the Indonesians have rushed to 11-4 in this opening game. 7-point advantage. It's all happened rather too quickly from a British perspective.
Yeah, a little bit passive on return of serve so far. Just giving the initiative away, early in the rallies. That's what you can't do against this Indonesian pair. Natsir very sharp around the front of the court, and Tontowi, if you give him time, provides a lot of power from the rear court. The British pair really need to get positive on return of serve. Try and create their own attacking opportunities.
What about the fact that the British pair have not got a coach with them? Well, obviously Robert was taking the commander's role there and talking to Gabby, saying what he wanted her to do on court, what tactically they should be trying.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit disappointing. There's no British coach with them, to be honest. They've done well to qualify. It's an opportunity to win a lot of points, and they're the only British players qualified. You would expect a coach to be here with them, really.
Yeah.
Service over. 12-5.
Well, maybe everybody's a little bit nervous at the start of this.
6-12. Service over. 36.
And again, a little bit too easy for the Indonesians to take the attack. It's all coming down to those first 3 or 4 shots. The British pair really need to start getting a bit more positive in those situations. Yeah, same again, too easy for Natsir to intercept on the forecourt. Just a push return, not getting in and taking it early, which would give him the opportunity to get the shuttle going in a downwards direction. Getting the return going up. That's better. Cross block.
That's too loose. Seems to be real confusion at the moment with the 2 British players as to who's going for what, and perhaps a little bit of nerves.
A little bit of nerves. Certainly Gabby's not really got into the game at all yet. It's difficult against someone like Natsir. She's not getting a lot of opportunities on the forecourt. She really needs to get her legs moving, start hunting the shuttle down in that area, try and compete on the forecourt. If they're going to get into this game, she's got to be creating the chances for Rob and winning him a little bit more time on the shuttle.
Service over. 17-7.
Well, the Indonesian coach looking pretty relaxed at the moment.
And again, the return's just not good enough.
Service over.
And the point with an error of judgment, but again, it was in a lift situation. Do Gabby a bit of good.
17.
Couple of good defensive shots there, keeping them alive in the rally. And just needs to get her legs moving. That's a good return.
Yeah, it's very clever.
Yeah, it was good serve.
18-9.
And the difference is that Tontowi was able to get the return in and get it below net height.
Gabby White clearly not ready. Natsir will have to serve again. It's good though. Little hold and flick deep into court. And after just 9 minutes of play, only 2 points away from this opening game.
Service over.
Yeah.
20.
More signs that Gabby's not really settled into this match yet.
No. 10 game points for the Indonesians.
And again, reaching rather than the legs move into the shuttle there, just to reach with the racket. Legs not really working.
Tontowi Ahmad.
Just
Liliyana
10 minutes
Natsir.
needed for that opening game. 21-10 in favour of Ahmad and Natsir. Well, very interesting. The Indonesian coach hardly speaking to his players, probably just saying more of that, please.
Yeah.
Doing well.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mismatch the first game there, I'm afraid. British pair didn't really get into it, didn't get into any points, rallies. They really need to get positive in these first few points, or this game could drift away from them very quickly.
Lobter. Lobter.
Well, a new shuttle for the start of the new game.
Second game. Love all. Play.
Now, obviously, you've got a different role nowadays, Ian, but if you'd been given the opportunity and I'd said, OK, whiz down there and have a quick word with them, what would you have said to the British pair?
I think it's all about, again, we saw it there on the first point. Rob, the return of serves going up. That's leaving Natsir a free roll on the front court. Got to get aggressive and break the pattern on serve and return. He's got to get more aggressive, step in, take some risks. Again, it's passive. And they end up on the defence again.
Service over. 1-2.
It's interesting, you know, the fact that I was asking you about the service fault called, racket not pointing in a downward direction.
Service over.
I was asking you about the qualities of Tontowi Ahmad and how he compared to Nova Widianto. Of course, Ahmad wasn't actually the first player that they tried Liliyana Natsir with. Tried him out with Mohammed Rijal and then Devin Lahadi. But they settled on this man. And I have to be honest, until he started playing with Liliyana Natsir, I hadn't really seen him play. Whereas I had with the other two players she'd played, been tried with. Rijal, of course, had won the Japan Open with Vita Marissa.
Yes, it was a surprising choice, I have to say. It was justified, I guess, by the way they started, but I think pairs have gradually begun to work them out a little bit. And certainly the results in the last few tournaments haven't been as strong. But they're well on top in this one, and again, it's the British pair really struggling on return of serve.
Is it, everything is stemming from that, is it?
Yeah, they're just not, they're on the defence the whole time. Not getting the returns of serve going down, not forcing the Indonesians to take the shuttle below net height. Again, that's a little bit better competing for the net, but again, they're out of formation. It's Rob that's having to go in. And another example, Gavin, really, that's an easy chance on the net. And the legs aren't working, there was no drive, it was a reach rather than a step. And that's just a lifted return of serve.
Service over. 3-7.
Where is this problem stemming from? Is it the fact that maybe their practice sessions haven't had the purpose and direction that maybe they would normally if you had a coach with you? That
Yeah, possibly. I mean, you know, they had a difficult journey getting here, but they're both experienced. They should be able to deal with it. That point might do Gabby a bit of good, getting in on one on the net, managing to finish it. But yeah, I mean, particularly when you're going on against this pair, you know that Natsir is very good on the forecourt. You know, if it's a good service, you want to be pushing through to Tontowi rather than letting Natsir intercept third shot. You know, you've got to go on with one or two tactics, clear tactics, and they seem to have gone on there without any sort of clear strategy.
oh, look at that return of serve, the trickery.
Yeah,
well, magic.
They're in a confident position. Natsir going for a few shots. She is a very talented player. But coming back to the British pair, you know, again, it's a loose return to Natsir on the forecourt, and that means Rob's taking it very late in the midcourt.
And I mean, they should have been able to draw confidence from the fact that their teammates, Adcock and Bankia, beat this Indonesian pair in the semi-final of the World Championships. And, you know, again, referring back to what we were talking about earlier in the day, you know, if you draw confidence from teammates and their results and then being your practice partners.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put too much into it, but I mean, the fact there's no coach there with the notes and the videos from the previous games from these two, you know, the draw was only made yesterday, so they won't have come with any videos, you know, of analysis of serve and return situations and that sort of thing with them, but they should have enough experience to be able to work this one out to some degree.
Absolutely.
But lack of coaching doesn't help in this situation.
Of course, we should perhaps point out that Gabby White, off-court partner with Chris Adcock, who did so brilliantly at the World Championships.
6-10.
So, with email and Skype and so on, we should have been able to get hold of some tactics and get a game plan together. Oh, that's too loose.
They've done well, but it's one of the few occasions where I've seen Rob's had the opportunity to smash.
Yeah.
When he did, we saw his strength there, hit with a good angle off defence, forced the weak reply, but they're just not creating enough opportunities.
Service
There's
over.
big gap down the centre there, isn't there, between Gabby White and Robert Blair.
Yeah, here Gabby's got to get aggressive on that cross defence. You can see she's at the same depth. She's always behind Robert. And if Robert's defending the straight, Gabby's got to get in front of him and close that centre down.
Seven finals this year for this pair. It's pretty impressive, winning 5 of them. Robert Blair has played in the Super Series finals before. It was back in 2008. Played in both the men's doubles and the mixed doubles. So that just really emphasises your point about the fact that they should have enough experience by now to work things out.
Yep.
12-7.
And there we saw again, it was a lifted return from Gabby, but intercepted by Tontowi. Not enough time to get into a solid defensive formation. And again, lift, help with the net cord, but too many opportunities for Tontowi to smash at the moment. Sometimes it's really difficult, isn't it, Jill? I mean, you've been there. For the girls, if they don't get into the match early on at mixed, and you know there's pace on, there's a guy on the other side with a big attack, it becomes a really nervous affair. And Gabby just seems to be in that situation where she doesn't know where to go and what to do at the moment. She's just never built up any confidence in this match.
No, that's right.
You know, and she needs pressure coming on from Rob. She needed Rob to be more aggressive on return of serve to help get her into the game in some easier situations, but she's always been under pressure in this game so far.
Of course, my solution when I was playing mixed doubles was to dash to the back of the court. Not the right thing to do.
Service over. 9-16.
Good deception, sort of brushing across the shuttle as she hit that.
Yeah,
but they were under so much pressure, weren't they?
Yeah, again defending.
Ambitious.
Service over. 10-17.
Low serve is short.
18-10.
Again forced into the lift return.
Service over. 11-18. Service over.
Struggling on both service and return at the moment.
Beautiful. Finds the line. And in double quick time, just 22 minutes. Match points.
Service over.
First one squandered.
12-20.
Oh, there we go. Well, it's a couple of times in that he's done that in this match. 21-10, 21-12 in just 23 minutes. I know we're only on day one of competition, but I suspect that might be the fastest match of the tournament come the end of the week, and that's disappointing from the British perspective.
Yeah, never got a foothold in that match. Really settle. Didn't get any rhythm on service or return.
So once again, confirmation of the score. 21-10, 21-12. Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir, their victory over Robert Blair and Gabrielle White. Well, goodness me, I wasn't expecting the first match to be over just quite as quickly as that. And I doubt if the women's singles players were expecting it to be over as quickly as that, because of course next match on court is the battle of the left-handers with the women's singles, and I wonder if they're all ready to get going. But if they're not, chance for me to tell you that following the women's singles we'll have the three-time defending champion of the men's singles, Lee Chong-wei of Malaysia, up against Sho Sasaki. Following that we'll have women's doubles, and Tian Ching and Zhao Yunlei up against Christina Pedersen and Camilla Rutejul of Denmark. Incidentally, Christina Pedersen already been on court today in the mixed doubles, where she and Joachim Fischer-Nielsen are the number 2 seeds, and they've already recorded a victory over Sukhit Prakamol and Sarali from Tongkam in 2 straight games. And then after the women's doubles, it'll be men's doubles, and Jung Jae-sung and Lee Yong-dae of Korea, current world number 2s, against former world number 1s Koo Kyung-kyat and Tan Boon-hyun. Both those men's doubles pairs, former winners of the Super Series finals title, and both of them former world number 1s.